Just kind of getting things sorted out here. Bear with me a moment. I forgot my Halloween apparel, but worry not. I'm basically all set. All right. I just got to make sure everything's up to snuff here. Well, let's see. I'm obviously recording this with my phone per usual, but I'm just okay. That makes sense. Let's see here. No, that's not what I was looking for. Oh, thank you. All right. There we go. I might have to make this vertical, horizontal. You know what? I think I have to start the stream over for that. Yeah, Boo is awesome. Let's see here. Sorry, guys, just a little bit of a technical difficulty here. But we're getting there. Yeah, so Halloween tomorrow. What's happening, Paper Banjo? If you're still there. All right, I'm just going to switch it around here. For now, just going to do this while I get things kind of sorted out here. Hope everybody has some interesting plans for Halloween. I'm going to be working myself. But that's okay. Everybody's got to work, right? Everybody's got to work sometime. So, I've been playing a lot of Wii U lately. Just because I recently did a repair on my Wii U. The fan had died, so I had to replace the fan, which is a pain in the ass. Oh boy. Yeah, so I don't know. I thought I'd go live tonight and just chat people up, anybody who happens to be around. Um, Happy Halloween. I got my altered beast shirt on. Check it out. Pretty thick. And got the old boo hat on. Just been kind of messing around today, doing some random repairs. I replaced the fan on my Wii U, which was a pretty easy fix. If you ever have to do that, it's only $12. And the easiest way to diagnose it is if your console shuts itself off and the light starts blinking red. Then you know immediately that it's your fan. And you can get a new fan for like $12, which is pretty sick. Uh, I was kind of expecting it to cost more than that, but what do you know? Not so bad. And the fix itself, I think it was only something like 6 screws. And yeah, super easy. What's cool about this? Let me see. I could probably play some handhelds if I wanted to. Yeah, I can just switch the camera. Yeah, I've only done a live stream like a couple of times when I was packing my games to move from Atlanta and come back to Wisconsin. That was the only other time that I really did a live stream, and I was just kind of showing off some games and uh, talking to people about that, I guess. I suppose one of the things that I'm pretty happy about is the fact that I didn't buy a Switch 2. Man, I'm not regretting that. I did pick up Daemon X Machina though, which was like the only game that I really cared about on the Switch 2. And I like it. It's a little rough around the edges, but it's a pretty cool game. As far as just like an open world, I wouldn't really call it mecha. I know some people would call it mecha, but it's more of a open world. I guess techno armor, maybe like Iron Man armor. That's the best way I could describe it, basically. But yeah, not my favorite. I mean, I don't know. I stopped playing it a little bit and started playing Borderlands again. And yeah, Borderlands, it's all right. I'm kind of surprised because I put it down after oh, I don't know, after the first game, really. No, that's not true. I played through the second game all the way with a buddy. Bleers. Where would I remember you from? I recognize Bleers, you say? Did you spell that wrong maybe? What is Bleers? Oh, yeah, yeah, right. I remember. I remember. Uh, yeah, okay. Yeah, I remember the last stream when I was packing up and leaving Atlanta and going through all my games. Right? I think there was a couple games you were interested in that you didn't know about for the PS3. Maybe is that? Am I remembering that correctly? I think that was you collecting PS3 games. We were talking about it. Might have been. I don't know. I could have been thinking of somebody else, but either way, I didn't interact with a whole lot of people during those streams, so I do remember the couple that I. Yeah, yeah. I'm trying to think if I actually even if I picked up a few new PS3 games since the last time. I think the latest one that I picked up was let's see. We talked about it. I think it was 3D Dot Game Heroes was the latest one of the latest PS3 games that I picked up. Um, it's over here somewhere. I know it is. There it is. Yeah, yeah. I think we were talking about this game. This one's kind of an uncommon one for the PS3. Most games on the PS3 are pretty common, but this one was actually a little bit pricey when I picked it up after the fact. Although it's a cool little Zelda clone and it has some cool graphics. Like they're almost like what I guess you would call like voxel graphics at this point. Um, but yeah, yeah. Today I was playing the Final Fantasy Tactics remake for a while. I've really been enjoying that one. Although I do notice like some of the subtle changes that they've applied to it. Like I don't know. It seems like some of the RNG is different, but I understand that they rebalanced things, which I'm fine with that. I don't mind the rebalancing. Although it does seem like the undead enemies have been kind of nerfed uh, in this iteration of the game. Like used to be in the original Final Fantasy Tactics or even War of the Lions. Like if you killed an undead enemy, there was a pretty high likelihood that it would just revive instantly the next time that its turn came around. And I've fought a lot of undead enemies so far, and I only had like one of them. I only had like one of them actually come back on me. Uh, which is kind of funny. Oh shit! I see. Yeah, but I mean, I guess all in all, I have been enjoying Final Fantasy Tactics. Like the remake has been cool. I mean, I've always had access to it, and pretty much all this time you could play it on your phone, which is like not really a terrible way to play it, if you ask me. So like, uh, yeah, I don't know. I like being able to play it on my Switch. We'll put it that way. I might end up buying it for the PS5 just so I can live stream it because, or I can make videos about it because I can really only live stream if I like use my phone or if I use my phone or if I use my PS5 or my Steam Deck. But lately, my Steam Deck has been pretty lame as far as just some of the recordings. Like the audio's been choppy and shit like that. I don't know if it's just the games I've been playing, or what, but those are some things I have to troubleshoot, figure out. Yeah. So far, I do enjoy not living in Atlanta anymore. It's been pretty sick not having to deal with like all the completely crazy motherfuckers down there and just the general and absolute consistent madness, that is just par for the course living there. But yeah, I don't know. There's so many things that you kind of forget are normal. Like it's pretty amazing what you can get used to, like the levels of violence and just and discord that are just commonplace in a big city. It's pretty wild what you can get used to, truly. Like like even just little things that I took for granted when I lived in a smaller town, but just like everything being in a general state of good repair, like everything being like functional, like that was something that was a big problem, like living in a big city. Um, like everything was just fucked. Everything was fucked up all the time. Like when I tell you fucked up, it was shit like the power. You walk down the street and it's like the power lines would be sagging down so low that they would be touching the street, like you could, like little kids could just hang off the power lines and shit. Like it was crazy, man. And I don't really know, I don't know, I don't know how the fuck that's okay either. Like, and I just took it for granted. And just the fact, like, all the roads were fucked up, like everybody was pissed off every time there was any kind of social unrest, that everybody'd go out and destroy the city. These people, these fake ass activists would be pretending like, when they're in the bars and talking to whoever, shit like that, they're just indulging themselves in a bunch of fucking lip service and horse shit. But the reality is like when they get out there, they're either just like chasing the adrenaline high of just running around in the streets while the cops are trying to control people, or they're trying to fucking steal shit. It's one or the other. It's always one or the other. It's never, I never met anybody that I truly thought that they were like, they were for whatever cause that they were purporting to be about, like whatever fucking human condition that they were trying to represent or support, or fucking whatever their claims were. It was always bullshit. It was just like a thinly veiled excuse to go fuck the city up, basically. So I'm glad I could get away from that. And honestly, Jesus, I'll be right back. I'm just gonna grab my drink here. Lord, I just started live streaming and I didn't have any of my shit ready or anything. Just like started, I just went. Uh, okay, maybe. Oh yeah, Lord. I wonder. I check this out once. One or the other. It's always one or the other. They were for whatever they're playing. So I'm glad I did it. And I'm just gonna grab my drink here. I just started live streaming. All right. Well, at least I know that my mic is working. I mean, I don't really give a shit if nobody ends up watching any of this. It is not a big deal. I'm just more making sure that everything works today so that I can more easily live stream in the future and not have to do a bunch of troubleshooting. That was kind of what I did most of the day, besides like doing that Wii U repair and playing a little bit of Wii U. I was playing like Deus Ex on there, which what I think Deus Ex Human Revolution Director's Cut. Um, I kind of think the Wii U is the best version of that game just because of the pad, the like touchpad functionality with the controller. I think that shit's pretty cool because like it constantly shows you the radar map, so you can just always you can be like watching the screen, duck and hiding, and then peek down and see which way the enemies are looking and shit, and not like rely on the little radar up in the sorry about the echo. About like not relying on the little radar in the corner of the screen, which is pretty sick. Um, yeah, it's cool. I don't know. It just kind of adds to the espionage of it all. I like it, and I gotta say, I kind of like the Deus Ex games more than I like Cyberpunk. Really, as far as like a more definitive Cyberpunk experience. I'll admit though, I haven't revisited Cyberpunk like since they've updated everything and all that. Maybe it's better. One of these days, I'm gonna get back at it and give it another like earnest go. But I've been playing so many like I've been stretched across so many different games lately. Like right now, I'm kind of playing Borderlands 4. I'm really playing Final Fantasy Tactics. I'm playing Borderlands 4, but I haven't played it in like a week. I live streamed it a couple of times here on my channel. Um, but yeah, I've been more so focusing on tactics. I picked up Final Fantasy Tactics. Here, I'll go grab it. I've had quite a few pickups lately, which I guess this live stream might as well be about some of these pickups. Um, I got Final Fantasy Final Fantasy Tactics A2. This is a title I skipped back in the day because like I don't know why I like the A2 threw me off or something. I mean, I was drunk a lot at the time, so like maybe I wasn't really paying attention to video games as much as I would have liked to, but like A2, I kind of got it mixed up with another game that I picked up, which I'm just kind of going back and getting all these fucking games, which is pretty funny. Let me make sure I can find it here. Goddamn. I've just been picking up too much shit lately. I gotta honestly like chill the fuck out with it a little bit. Um, damn, where? Oh, there it is. Fuck me, man. I'm just no. That's still not even it. What am I talking about? Let's see. It's Final Fantasy Revenant Wings, the sequel to um, Final Fantasy 12, right? And I never even realized that it was a sequel to Final Fantasy 12. And at the same time, I didn't realize uh, that it was a real-time strategy game. And sorry guys, I'm like over here being retarded and fucking forgetting, can't find my shit. But yeah, this is Revenant Wings right here. As you can see. And I don't know why, but back in the day, I was like not paying attention. Like I said, I was drunk for a long time. I wasn't paying attention. So like those two games kind of like blended together. Not only that, on the DS, there was two other Crystal Chronicle games, maybe two other Crystal Chronicle games, which like I picked up one of them. Crystal Chronicles, the Rings of Fate, and I started playing that one. It's not bad. Like it plays well enough, like any Final Fantasy Crystal Chronicles game. I like it, but yeah, there was so many tactics. Well, like there was Tactics A2, which just stood for Advanced 2, which I think is kind of fucked up. The reason it's fucked up is because they started development for this game on the Game Boy Advance, and then they switched to development over to the DS, I forget what the reasoning was. I mean, I guess the DS had just come out, so like they wanted to they just ported it over to the new platform, and the A2 name was weird to me. But it's its own story. It's like completely its own story. It's just like the character is just going to the same world, I guess. But yeah, like at the time I completely had no idea. I kind of wrote this game off. And I've kind of come back to it. I'm interested in playing again, mostly because the recent re-release of Final Fantasy Tactics Ivalice Chronicles, or Ivalice, however you want to pronounce it. But like that recent release for me has kind of like sparked my desire to go back and play some more of the Final Fantasy Tactics series. I played the shit out of Tactics Advanced, so I felt pretty good about that one. I didn't. I'll probably go back and play it eventually, just because like I really love all my Game Boys that I've built. So like, it's weird. I gotta say, like when you build a gaming console yourself, like you refurbish it and mod it out and maybe reshell it and like put a new screen in it, even if it's like a simple rebuild, like my Squirtle build here. um I still like love this Game Boy Advance, because I got it back into a new shape, glows in the dark, it's got a cool ass display, it's like a really bright display, like, and uh I just love it. And the thing is it like really motivates me to go back and play a lot of the games on these consoles, like having rebuilt them and shit. It really makes me, I don't know, keep in touch with that age of gaming, so to speak. And lately, I've just been kind of going back. Like one of the things I'll do as part of my hobby now, as opposed to just collecting, is like I'll go through. Like if you take a look, I'm just gonna move the camera a little bit, but if you take a look, like next to my desk here, there's like a whole bunch of different random consoles and stuff like that sitting around. I just have them all lined up on the floor, and I go through and check out and make sure that they're all in good working condition. And I'll hook them up and I'll start playing a bunch of my games. I'll dig out all the pickups recently. Like I hooked up my JVC XI yesterday, and I stacked up all the Genesis games that I'd gotten over the last whatever couple of months. Um, and I'll just run them all through the console. And if some of the carts aren't working, with the JVC XI, I haven't run it for a while, so I had to hit it with some BW100, which I advise any gamer, if you're an avid gamer with like you have a lot of controllers, Joy Cons, fucking this is the miracle juice for fixing your controllers and shit. Like if you got a button that's acting up or sticky or it's doing something weird, just squirt some BW into the crevice and work the button. And literally, I would wager like 75 to 80% of the time, any issues you have with buttons, spin wheels, fly wheels, anything, any kind of little switch that you have to manipulate that is fucking up, the BW100 will fix it. That stuff's fucking miracle. I bought this one fucking bottle. I bought this like 2 years ago, and I guarantee you I'm using it a lot more than like the average person, because I'm constantly like finding shit to fix. But like, yeah, that shit is fucking awesome. Like it's done me so much good. Anyway, like I took apart the JVC XI. It was playing my Sega CD games, but I had to like give it a little cleaning up. It wasn't reading any of my Sega games, so I had to go in there and clean the pins with the BW100, and that got it working again, like new. It was great. One disappointing thing though is like it was having a tough time reading some of my discs. I cleaned the laser, I cleaned out all the dust, I opened it up, I cleaned up, I hit the little switch that lets it, the lid was having some issues where it was registering as the lid being shut and not shut. So I was thinking maybe that was the problem with it not reading some of the games. So I hit that the little switch is so tiny and delicate. I might just have to replace it with a better switch at some point. And I'm going to have to get in there and get familiar with the laser so I can figure out how to calibrate it, because I think that's part of the reason. I mean, it's playing the games that are most important to me, primarily like Snatcher is the number one game that I wanted to play. But like I have a spindle of like ripped games um, that it doesn't want to read any of them, which it always used to. Oddly enough, it seems you can pick up, you can buy a whole new uh, laser, like, and basically everything it's attached to, the whole mount and everything, a whole new laser mount for like $43 on eBay. That's something I'm going to consider. Of course, I'll go in, I'll try to adjust the potentiometer on there. I just have to figure out, I know how to do it on the Dreamcast because I found some videos on how to do it, but I wasn't seeing as many videos about the potentiometer in the JVC-Xi. It's kind of a rare console, so there's not as many repair videos and stuff for it, and the ones that are out there, they're really old videos. Thinking, so yeah, I might end up getting a new laser for it altogether, just because the console is worth a lot of money. Like $40, the repair is definitely worth it, considering the console is worth more than 10 times that. So yeah, that's kind of one of the ongoing repairs. I have to do a little diagnostic, a little tune up on my Sega CD version 2 console. I got the side loading one, or not the side, but the one that attaches to the side of the Genesis, um, version 2, I believe. I'm gonna hook that bad boy up. The reason I like the JVC-Xi so much though is because it only has one power supply. The thing with the Sega CD and the fucking Sega Genesis is they both have like power supply bricks, and it's like a brick, which you can't even really plug two of those into one outlet very easily, depending on how shaped they are, like what shape they are. So it's just a fucking pain in the ass. Um, trying to like find two places. You need a power strip, and you basically have to plug one of them on either side of the power strip in order to, because most power strips they only give you um the two side outlets. They give you enough clearance to stick two big fat power supply bricks into. But yeah, that shit is annoying. I don't understand. It's so stupid that they had to have two power supplies for that. But so anyway, like that's why I like the Xi better. It's much easier to hook it up. I just have to find it. Just needs one outlet, and it plugs into one of my one upscaler, and it's good. Like I don't have to fuck around anymore with it. But yeah, the other thing, I got to test that one. I got to test my JB. I got to test my Neo Geo. Make sure that guy's in good shape. Yeah, it's just like all these consoles, all these older consoles I have. What I'll do is I'll just like I'll swap out which ones I have hooked up. Like right now, I have Super Nintendo, Nintendo N64 hooked up in my repair office, and I'll probably eventually swap. I'll typically like swap out the third one. I'll keep the Super Nintendo and the Nintendo always hooked up, but the third one, I'll swap that one out between things. Like I'll end up either like hooking up my PS3 for a while, or I'll hook up the Sega CD or the XI, or I'll hook up the Neo Geo. I only have 3 games for the Neo Geo though. I have been considering like maybe eventually getting a multi-cart for it, but like even the multi-carts are kind of expensive. So, or EverDrive, whatever the fuck you want to call it, like they are also kind of expensive. Um, let's see. I've been going for about 35 minutes now. Yeah, and this was more of like if anybody ends up watching this after the fact, like after it's streamed, this is just more of a practice stream. I'm just making sure that everything works. That's kind of my last 2 days off of work have basically been that, like just going through. I haven't had a chance to do it since the move, so it's like I've just been going through all my old consoles, making sure they work, repairing them if they don't. Like one of the things I got some new 2032 batteries for my GameCube because, in case you guys didn't know, which maybe you do, the GameCube has a battery in it for the internal clock. So that can die, which is annoying. But I did pick up these guys. This little dude that is going to replace the battery that's soldered in place. And then what I can do is I can just slip these batteries into here. And in the future, in another 20 years, I mean, it's fucking pointless. The battery will last another 20 years. But in that time, if I bequeath this to my nephew or somebody, they'll easily be able to swap the battery out. I know. The first battery lasted 20 years. It's whatever. I just want the clock to work again. I'm doing it for me, okay? If it lasts another 20 years, great. But hopefully it just lasts for the duration the rest of my fucking lifetime, right? Jesus. Yeah, so few DS pickups. Few DS pickups, few pickups for the Wii U. I got like Rodea, the Sky Soldier. I got Deus Ex, Human Revolution, the director's cut. I got what else have I picked up? I picked up Final Fantasy Crystal Chronicles, the Crystal Bearer. Let me tell you about that game. That game is fucking crazy. Like I had no idea that game came out for the Wii U. I would have bought it instantly if I knew what was going on at the time that game came out. I bought a Wii U. I bought, let's see, I think I got 3 games for the fucking console because I at the time, I don't know why that I didn't experiment more for myself, but like I didn't like the motion controls. And and I only wanted to play the handful of role playing games on there that didn't require the use of motion controls. So it's like when I originally had my Wii, when there was still games coming out for it, the games that I had were The Last Story, which is a fucking awesome game. I wish they would bring it back. The Last Story. I had Mario Kart, and I had Xenoblade Chronicles. And let's see what else. I think that's all I had on the Wii. I bought the Wii for those 3 games. And I remember I bought the Wii off my buddy for fucking $60 because like he didn't give a shit about it anymore. And this was like midway through its life cycle. And I bought those 3 games. And I played those 3 games and that was it. I didn't give a shit. I didn't revisit any Wii games until the Wii U came out. And I ignored that console, but once Xenoblade Chronicles X came out, I bought the Wii U specifically for that game. And then for the longest time, the only game I had for the Wii U was Xenoblade Chronicles X. I think the one other game I bought afterwards was Star Fox, which I still haven't beaten. Star Fox Zero, whatever. Like, dude, it looks cool and shit, but the controls are just so fucked. I'm gonna beat it one of these days. I love Star Fox enough. I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna make it happen. But good lord, that shit is crazy. But yeah, then forever, those were all the games I had on it. And then I don't know. I At the point when basically I was snooping around the internet, I noticed that a lot of people were talking about how cheap Wii games were and Wii U games. So I just started snooping around, started looking for like the top this, top that videos. And basically, I bought all the best racers that utilized the actual steering wheel. I bought 2 steering wheels for it. And I bought all the racers that people like acclaimed to be good. And so I have like this awesome, hilarious lineup of racers. One of these times I'll have to do a video of all the specific curated collection of Wii and Wii U games I have. But I bought all these fucking ridiculous racing games, and of course, uh, yeah, I lost track. What the fuck? Anyway, of course, I'm not going to name them because that's just like a video into itself, which maybe I'll do that eventually if anybody gives a shit. But like, yeah, so I got this nice stack, almost 10 like racing games on the Wii that are fucking hilarious and fun. And it's like, even if they're somewhat mediocre, the motion controls and using the steering wheel makes up for it, in my opinion. And I have a blast with it. I'm just like playing on like a 72-inch TV, like steering and being fucking crazy. Like the Speed Racer game on the Wii is completely fucking insane. Like it plays more like F-Zero than any other racers I've played. So that one's a lot of fun. That one is a lot of fun. I really enjoy that. The Speed Racer game is a hidden gem for sure. But yeah, it's like I bought all of the racing games that people said were good, and then I bought all of the rail shooters, which there was like 3 or 4 Resident Evil rail shooters on there, and then there was like a Dead Space rail shooter. All of the House of the Dead games were on there, and there was Sin and Punishment, which is like the best rail shooter on the console. Reminds me of Panzer Dragoon in a lot of ways, because you actually have like a character, and whereas most rail shooters, you're just the screen. You know what I mean? But yeah, like there's like, yeah, I have like another 10 rail shooters on there. So basically, the Wii U just serves as a an arcade console for me. Um, I just use it for light gun games and racing games for the most part. Now, before, I mean, I got all the RPGs and shit that I wanted on there, and then I started delving into all the motion-based games. Like I don't know, Dragon Quest Swords. I have a blast with that game. That game's fun to me. But I'm a sucker for anything that any kind of first-person dungeon crawler, whether it be your traditional party-based dungeon crawler, first-person style, um, like Underknots is a really fucking cool one. That's like a hidden gem that nobody talks about. Or uh, Labyrinth of Zangetsu. Those types of games, or even just Eye of the Beholder. Um, love those types of games. And then I just loved first person dungeon crawlers like Kingsfield. Particularly, as anybody who's frequented my channel at all will know, I am a huge fan of Kingsfield and any game that's like Kingsfield. In fact, I'm basically a whore for Kingsfield. Like if some fucking jackass says in the description of their game on Steam that it was inspired by Kingsfield, I will buy it even if it's a fucking piece of shit and runs like a potato rolling down a hill. I don't give a shit. Um, don't care. I'll just buy it anyway because I'm a fucking idiot like that. Like I just so desperately want to find games that play like Kingsfield. I'll tell you what though, Lunacid, that's a good one on Steam. Um, that plays a lot like Kingsfield. You should definitely check that one out. Yeah, I think one of these days I'll have to make like a more dedicated video about the Wii U. I'm just hoping down the line, once things settle down and my money situation is a little more settled down and recuperated from moving across the entire fucking country, uh, I'm hoping that I can get a better setup so I can actually like start recording, playing all my consoles instead of doing it through emulation. I'm hoping I can start recording natively on everything, because there's a lot of stuff I'd prefer to just play through natively, and there's some shit that it's just like hard to emulate in the first place. I think it'd be kind of fun to like set up 2 cameras and play motion control games, and like have one on me and one showing the screen, and like shit like that is what I want to do down the line. But like I said, like it wasn't cheap moving 1,400 miles across the country. Uh, yeah, so that's definitely something I'm gonna have to build up. I want to get a capture card and a decent PC, because basically I have a Chromebook, I have a mini PC, and I have my Steam Deck, and my Steam Deck is like the strong, most powerful piece of equipment I have for recording. I guess I also those are on my PCs, but then I got my PS5 for recording as well. I don't know. My birthday is the day after Halloween, so I'm thinking maybe I'll get myself a camera for the PS5. as a birthday present to myself for funsies. I think that'll be cool. Actually, I think that's actually what I want to do. I also want to get a projector for my garage because I just put a couch in the garage. One of my coworkers was kind enough to give me a couch, and like the whole interior of the garage is painted white. And I don't own a vehicle, so I just been setting up my garage as like a little hangout gaming area. It's funny. I have a GameCube with one of those little folding screens that attaches to the top of it. I have it set up out there, so it's like when I go out there to fuck around, I'll play GameCube games and just like drink coffee and smoke a little bit and play some GameCube games. It's a good time. I want to set up a projector out there so I can just always have like a Nintendo or a Super Nintendo always hooked up out there and play games like that on a projector screen. I think that'd be a lot of fun. Plus, I mean, I got wireless. I got a Hyperkin. I got a couple wireless 8-bit Do SNES controllers, so it's like I could set it up in a way that would be pretty cool to just have it projected. And for whatever reason, the inside of my garage is all painted white, so that's pretty sick. So like I'll be able to make a big projection there, and that's my advice to anybody. Like if you have like backlogs for multiple consoles, what I try to do, because I've kind of curated a backlog for each of my consoles, because I like to have some games I haven't played yet or haven't finished. I like to like for each console that I own. So what I'll do is I'll kind of, and I've been doing this slowly, I'll set up different stations for my consoles. And like ideally I'd like to set up a little station for each console because it's kind of fun, like having to go to a different location in your home to play a certain setup. You might have your little Super Nintendo corner or your little Nintendo corner. Or like the way I have it set up, it's like in my office, I have my N64, Nintendo, and Super Nintendo. So I have like the first three major Nintendo consoles in a row there, and those are hooked up to my office TV. So if I'm going to play Nintendo or Super Nintendo or N64, I go in my office to play. Or if it's like I'm going to play my primary consoles like the Switch and the PS5 and the Steam Deck, I'll play in my living room on my big TV. I also have like my PS2 and my Sega Saturn hooked up to the big TV, but it's like I got the GameCube in the garage. Pretty soon I'll swap the Super Nintendo to being out in the garage, or maybe even the Neo Geo, since I have Samurai Showdown and King of Fighters '98 and Fatal Fury Special. Those three, it's a pretty decent lineup, and I got two joysticks that I fixed up, so it's like I could just get like kind of a cool arcade setup going out there. I'd like to eventually start building like emulation arcades, because like you could get some pretty cheap monitors, man. They don't have to be really high resolution to run like MAME 32 or whatever its equivalent, like even RetroArch. And you wouldn't need like a real powerful mini PC if you're just running arcade. Like if you're not trying to run, if you're just running like Nintendo, Super Nintendo, MAME 32, and maybe TurboGrafx, Game Gear, all of that, everything all up till maybe PS1, Sega Saturn tops, okay? But like you could get mini PCs for cheap, and you could get monitors for cheap, pretty big monitors these days for cheap too. I was just seeing at Walmart, like shit, they got like 50-inch screens for like $250. Don't get me wrong, they're probably pieces of shit. But if you spend $250 like on a 30-inch screen, it might be okay. It might be fairly decent, worthwhile investment. But I'm thinking like I would only need like a 30-inch screen. The screens on arcades were not, they seemed a lot bigger because you were a kid at the time, but they weren't crazy big. But like just cutting the wood wouldn't be that hard either. And if you cut it to spec, you can order stickers online for the cabinets. So I mean, with the space I have in the garage, I might consider just start doing that. And if I could fucking make arcades for hella cheap, if I could make them for like under $300, that would be awesome. But I don't think I can make them that cheap between the wood and the monitor and the mini PC. Who knows? Who knows? That's something I'd have to like gumshoe down the line. Anyway, though, I think my battery on my phone's going to die soon here. Yeah, like real soon. So I'm going to end the stream. But anybody who stopped through or anybody who watches this later, thanks a lot for watching. I appreciate you. And that's gonna be, sorry if it was a boring one, but honestly, I'm just making sure everything works. We build it up from here. I just got back on the scene, just started doing videos again. So we'll build it up from here. And I'm just making sure all my resources are pumping. In any case, anybody who watched or anybody who watches, thanks so much. Take care. Jellord out.